I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't. Wow.
Keep it going. Some privilege in the back, blowing. Hold it down for the Bay, repping Oakland.
It's all a fugazi.
And you know the difference between me reading your papers now and me reading your papers 10 years ago is that now I know when I read it. 10 years ago, I didn't know when I read it.
It's no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
Right.
It didn't happen.
Sports cards H.
It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies.
Carrying a school bag on stage. What are you doing with a school bag on stage? You can't even read.
No, you ain't the champ. Hey, listen, don't make me embarrass you. How you gonna do this? Embarrassing. How you gonna do the champ? You go fight more than 4,000 people live. Run more people in training.
40 years old carrying a school bag. The man doesn't even fucking read.
When Dad tried to teach me of my brothers, never try to be better than someone else. Always learn from others. And never cease trying to be the best you could be. That's under your control. I coined my own definition of success, which is peace of mind, attained only through self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable.
What do you both think about fear?
I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations. I'm here to live up to mine.
He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life.
Fear is a teacher.
And I don't skip class.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now.
Hey now. Hey now to you. Yeah.
Hey now.
Hey now. Hey now. Hey now.
Did I just nail the grail?
You just hit the grail.
Did I just nail the grail? Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now.
All right, let's take, there's 50 people to start the show on a Wednesday. I hope you're all doing well. That's not what we want. Let's do 5 seconds of this. What do I, just in a box next to me, some old Johnny Unitas card, pretty decent shape. What do we got? A Theismann, Joe Theismann. 30 seconds as the room fills, starting off hot with some cards. That Bowman, Brett Favre, what do you know? Brett Favre rookie. Who else we got right here? Frank Thomas score 91. Going fast, going quick. That's it. Let's put those away. I hope you're having a great week. It's Wednesday. I got some good news today. We'll add this. We're going to talk about this later. Another layer. This is not the good news, but another is kind of juicy. Another layer to the PSA story. Scotty B's calling in 15 minutes. So I'm going to go quick this first 15 minutes. If you didn't tune in, if you're not here in the beginning, okay, you missed a fast, sharp 15 minutes. Scotty B will call in 15 minutes. Probstein has mystery packs. I'm having trouble finding them. My friend sent them to me. My phone died when I was prepping for the show. Apparently, I didn't have a cable in here, so in my foot. So the good news I got, I'll just jump to that real quick. I went and got nothing, but I still can't put full weight on it. I still can't walk, but it's a grade 2 foot sprain, 3 to 6 weeks to heal. Could range up to 4 to 8 weeks. I hope not that long, but I'm on day 8. And the last couple days have hurt a little more. I think the first 5 or 6 days, the swelling, everything like that. I put a little weight on it yesterday for the first time. I'm reactivating my calf. My calf hurts a lot. So the calf just needs to be reactive. I'm doing that. So okay, whatever. Thank you to all the callers yesterday. Not sports cards, Clemente Collector Charles, Neo Cards, Comic Strike. I don't think I'm missing anyone. If I am, I apologize. It was a really fun night of conversation. Tonight will be the same. It'll be Scotty B, 5:15. We might go to 6 o'clock. We might go 45 minutes. It might not last that long. I think AIH is going to call at the top of the hour of the next hour. He has, as always, some good stuff. There's 3 or 4 voicemails I want to get to that I want to take time to. We get interrupted a lot with the voicemails. And so during this voicemail segment, I'm powering through the 3 or 4 that are there because I think they're all worthy. I'd like to end the show tonight, rapid fire. It's too busy to do it again at 5:30, but maybe rapid fire towards the end of the night. Well, Dutch Boy's here. Big Mac Boy, Vintage Vince has been here quite a bit recently. Good to see you guys. Gorilla Farmer, as always. Penny Sleeve, Big L Sports Cards. Very opinionated. AIH, why is he a tool? How come? You know, what's your everyone? You know what? You can't please everyone. No matter what, you put yourself out there, you're gonna have some haters. You're gonna have some people that enjoy it, and that's how it is. I don't see anything wrong with AIH. Anyways, thank you to the callers yesterday. Where are we at? There it is. People tuning in and out, waiting for me to get to this. Scotty B is gonna call in 10 minutes, so we'll talk with Scotty B. But first, to the men in this thumbnail, it's not about what's best for the space. It's about a money grab. All right, so this is Nat Turner in the middle. We have our guy Ken Golden, who's back on Netflix. And we have Jeff Wilson, and Jeff Wilson doesn't have to paint himself this way. Jeff Wilson continues to circus. He wants to be part of the show. You know, he doesn't have to continue to, it's time after time after, it's all the fucking time. A lot of people like and talk fondly of Nat Turner. They say he's a collector. They like talking with him. I'm going to say, I bet you he's a brilliant guy, but all I've seen him do is fuck up PSA. He took it from it's a third company. It's an authority because it's going to grade your cards and create market value. It's a big deal. You were a prestige. You were a must in the industry. There was no need to kick dirt on PSA. Sure. Could you disagree with some of the grades? All right. That's human nature. That's going to happen. But as far as how they ran business, you know, in the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen nothing but prices go up, wait times go up, and just kind of shady business in certain areas. And now they're getting into the graded gray. I know everyone's focused on this one thing, but they're too big for my friends, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. You know, unfortunately, that's kind of how I'm feeling about this. There was they didn't have to make themselves front center in the circus. And basically, they're doing it for monetary value. They're trying to they saw how much money and want to see a future here. They want to grow. And so, okay, instead of just being the grader and being happy doing your thing, a very integral, important part of the hobby now, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. So we see some videos where they're saying, you know, this group's not going to they're not going to do submissions with them anymore over here. We'll see if any of that lasts. I doubt it. But all of this is relatively new. And all of this is Nat Turner at the top of the organization. So, you know, I'm sure it's great he's a collector. I'm sure everything I see in all these issues, it seems like he wanted to get too big without the resources or hiring more staff or maybe hiring the right people or really thinking about the future. And maybe I have no clue what I'm talking about. Jeff, why? I mean, this is funny to me, but it's like, you're a full-grown dude. You're older than me. I understand Mojo. I understand Roth cards. I understand Ryan. But like I said, Jeff, you're older than me. What's up with the clown show? Now that I think about it, like, yeah, it's all the younger people. Jeff's the only one. Is there anyone older than Jeff that's doing that, taking that stance? Maybe you could argue Gio. Gio doesn't take that stance. Gio's Gio. Maybe some more of the breakers. Not even that. Maybe there's a few Hollywood Joe. What's his Joe Hollywood? But Jeff's just taking a stance because why? Because he's looking for that money. And then Golden uses Logan Paul to sell basketball cards, to sell Pokemon cards. And to me, that's enough said. So we have, did I say everything? I kind of skipped over. Ankle, da-da-da. This is what we're going after. I got a bunch of stuff. It's not all there. But that's my critique of the situation. Maybe a little too harsh. But it's so obvious. It's so obvious to tell PSA got greedy. PSA, whatever the case may, and it's also the other one that's so obvious is, you know, sometimes you hear say nothing anybody said about this whole situation with PSA makes really. It's not like, oh yeah, that's the one. That makes the most sense. So who the fuck knows what happened? You know, it could be anything. And then we get to this. This is from Junk Wax Hero. Released this on. I saw it on I don't remember where I saw it, but this is the clip of it. And how much time do we have? We have 5 minutes. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. I'm going to start on the first 2 paragraphs, just talk about how he reached out to Nat Turner, never heard from him. And so the third paragraph, in 2024, Ryan, it's worth the read. Ryan Hoge and I shared some emails along with Juan Salinas. Ryan, who is the CEO of PSA, and Juan, who is in customer service representative, had worked with me on a submission. So basically, Ryan, the CEO, and this dude, Juan, customer service. I mentioned this story here before. He sent in 105 cards. Okay, 6 of them, 6 out of the 105 came back PSA. 6 out of the 105. I was very upset at the results. I've mentioned this story here before, but for those unaware, the order was resubmitted. Oh, this sounds like a story we know. And 52 out of the 99 cards that previously graded a PSA 9 or below received a grade bump, with 0 cards in that order coming back a lower grade. Every single one of those cards that regraded went up. 52 of them. No. The order was resubmitted. 52 of the 99 went up, and the others at least stayed the same. Nothing went below. Riot had his hand in this, offering to have the submission regraded by what he referred to as a senior member of the grading team. I have no idea if a senior grader truly did a blind reassessment of the cards, or if the cards were arbitrarily bumped to appease me. I thanked Ryan and Juan, believing that the order was handled in good faith and that the company acted with integrity. On June 1st of 2024, I sent both Ryan and Juan an email thanking them for handling the issue and hope to have further dialogue about the original issue, hoping to learn more about what went wrong and what was being done to correct the problem. He also was prepared to offer his own ideas. 10 days went by, I received no response. I sent a second message, no response. I also emailed Juan directly without Ryan multiple times, no response. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to make it better. Their idea was, let's PA, is all hypothetical. I don't know shit. But they want to just appease you. Hey, he's going to shut up. We gave him better grades. He's going to be happy. He'll make some money. You know, everyone's rubbing each other's back. Belly rubs for everybody. Well, and this happened last year, and it sounds an awful lot like the Pokemon story. So it's interesting. Go Junk Wax Hero Mike is the, I think the one that that's where I found this from. So go check that out. And then here, Jeremy Lee responded to him. I'm pretty good at math. Here, watch this. 52 out of 99. That's just about a 53% failure rate or inconsistency, which is actually much closer to what I expected in 37% failure rate we saw earlier. So even Jeremy, if you have Jeremy Lee coming at you like that, and maybe Jeremy Lee's always been a PSA hater, because I think isn't he a part of tag? Maybe I don't know this for certain. Maybe at one point, I could be way off. I think there is a connection there, but also 5% maybe wrong. Which is actually more close. So yes, he's over here, dissing PSA. So we got Scotty B joining us here in a few minutes. I kind of ran through this fast. What else do I have? I want to do this with Scotty B. If you have, a little tease. Where is it? Let's tease this if you haven't seen it. Maybe you've already seen it. An hour into their 10-case break, 3 in the first few cases, they hit back to back to back debut patches, and I think there's less than 300 in existence because, it's the 101 debut patch, and they happen to open it beginning of the product right here with this big case or this big case break, and they hit back to back to back. I think that's Filth Bomb, right? Who's one of the biggest. It makes sense for Topps to want Filth Bomb to have these huge hits. Now you go find the debut patch. Now you can do it, and I'm curious what Scotty B has to say on this. I wonder if he'll know. While we wait for him, let's start watching the video on this subject. And then I want to know Scotty B's take on this. I also want to know on what happened at PSA. And maybe that's him right now. Let's see. Yes, sir. Mr. Scotty B Cards. How you doing?
What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm doing well. How's your day?
Oh, it's going good. About to plug my mic in. So if my audio is terrible, it'll get better just a few seconds.
Have you seen the Filth Bomb pulling the debut patches?
3 in a row.
Okay, so we definitely have to talk a little about that. I just, curious how when you see that or hear that, does you have any red flags that go up, or that's just how it goes?
I mean, of course, there's red flags, as there should be. And honestly, it's probably just a correlation issue. I can't imagine that it was intentional. Which I don't know what's worse. Is it worse that was intentional or that they were too incompetent to.
You know, I've heard the correlation issue before because it's a good way, run good lifestyle. And there's a lot of truth to it. With this one, I mean, these are the debut patches. It's hard to buy a correlation issue normally I run with that. Sorry to push back so like immediately, but I run with the correlation issue. Okay, that makes sense. But in this one, these are the biggest cards of the year.
Have you ever seen? You watch The Office, don't you? You've seen The Office.
Oh yeah.
This reminds me of when Michael Scott's doing the golden ticket giveaway, and he puts them into like 4 pallets, and they all go to the same customer. That's what this feels like.
Right.
Before realizing he screwed up. But yeah, no, not great. And honestly, I think they were pretty good names. Like Kevin Alcantara, like I understand he's not been that good in the big league so far, but Kevin Alcantara is a solid name, a prospect for a long time. So it's not like they were nobodies, right? So that's also a little infuriating if you're a fan of those players.
What? Let's see. Hey, Scotty, thanks for calling in. I'm gonna go over here.
Of course.
All right, so we'll jump back a story. Yesterday, I had some people on. This has been the whole, in the news. We've had some different options. It's interesting. For me, I've heard so many different angles. I've thought of so many different things. Something just doesn't feel right. Nothing's like, okay, that makes the most sense. Or, okay, I could buy that. Something just feels off. But what is your take on this whole, submitting and resubmission of the cards?
I mean, there's all sorts. No one knows. And my question is, have we seen anybody else have this problem? Like, was this an isolated situation? Because I'm sure every single person who recently graded went and looked to see if their cards they sold back are now 10s. They probably are checking. Like, have we seen one other instance is my question. Because if we have, I think there's a lot more, fire instead of just smoke. Because right now it's a lot of smoke, but not like
what the other side would say is, they're changing the certs, so they forgot to change the cert on this one. Now that's taking that's taking it a step, adding some speculation.
Sure. My thoughts are that is too complicated. It was a huge screw up on PSA's part, and they should be held accountable for making big mistakes as the biggest company in the hobby, at least part of it, alongside Fanatics. I don't want to say that I really believe it was completely intentional. For at least from a company perspective, from an individual perspective, maybe. I don't know who's sending these offers in. I don't believe it's PSA buying the cards back. I believe it's other people. It's like there could be something there, but personally for me, unless I see multiple instances, I have a hard time really saying so.
Okay, this is a bit in the weeds, but it's a good conversation to have. So just bear with me. That buyback program, we can scan a card or they automatically offer you sometimes, on your grades, they'll give you that price. And so are they buying it with the assumption that one of their group or third party people will take it? Or if they don't, it'll go in a graded grail or a power pack. I'm interested to see I think it's important to see what exactly does all that look like. Because when they say buy it back, right? Does that mean PSA buys it back for a slight moment until it goes to their affiliates? Does it mean their affiliate has a list of, I can't imagine their affiliates have, okay, I'm going to buy these and these. And if these come, that's way too complicated and too much. So and you could throw your takes, but I think it's such an interesting conversation. I want to know more about that. And I think we're kind of owed that. Yeah.
And it could be out there. Maybe it was just poorly explain to people. It's like maybe they need to do a better job.
They normally do they normally say it goes to their third party, but it's hard to find in print at least.
My guess is that there are certain buyers who all compete for these cards, right? And so probably based off of sport category, maybe even player, they'll give a certain percentage, maybe 70%, 80%, 90% of whatever platform they're using, whether it's card ladder, market movers, or their own internal thing they're using. That's probably how it's working, but I just don't know.
Yeah, and here's what Neo's commenting. He says the buyer says we want X cards at certain percentage on certain type of cards, but that seems complicated. That seems like a lot of work. That seems like way too much communication all the time. There's new Pokemon sets coming out all the time. There's new stuff that gets important all the time. There's stuff they don't want anymore. And there's so many offers on so much. My take would be, this is how I feel. And none of us know, so I'm not sure, but my take would be they have agreements where, okay, yes, there are some Pokemon buyers would want this. So we feel safe holding it for a day, an hour, 2 days. And if they end up don't want, these buyers end up don't take it. We have a backup to put them in the graded grails, to put them in the power packs. Sure, they're buying way too much of random stuff. So some of it I feel like is definitely going into those power packs or trying to build up the. Am I crazy, Scotty, for thinking that?
I don't think you're crazy, but I think if there's anybody who knows the most about it, it's probably Neo. If I'm being honest, that guy is in the weeds as like probably the best type of journalist we really have currently in the hobby. He doesn't consider himself. Maybe Neo, do you consider yourself a journalist? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. But he does a great job with all the videos.
I just don't. But Neo, I would want to. I still have a hard time with this because they're buying so much of so much random stuff. The way to move that is generally they're buying anything almost. And the way to move anything is, and they are directly partnered with GameStop and we see what the point is they're not, I would love to hear more about it. I would love there to be an easy track. And I'm not the only person in the world that would want this, by the way. I'd love to see how it actually is handled on the back end. And we could say all this, or they don't care. Well, let's see it. I mean, let's be more transparent. Why play an eggshell game? So, Neil, I think, Scotty, do you have any more? I have a feeling I'm going a little too dirty for you. You have any more you want to say on that? Or
I'll just say this about PSA. Honestly, I think until we see more examples of this happening, and I think we would have been able to find the receipts of it happening. We haven't yet. Until we have that happen, I think it was just an isolated incident, or maybe the few other times it happened by accident in this exact same type of scenario. But the bigger issue is the fact that they misgraded so many cards. To me, the consistency aspect of the grading, I think, is what's crazier. How they went from 0-10s to a 33% gem rate, 11-10s right then and there. Worst part behind it, but at the same time, there are ways you can rationalize it if you want to be a PSA apologist. I don't know if you want to be, but like the first one, if we really want PSA to expand, then they're hiring new people, and hiring new people requires them to learn, cut their teeth on this a little bit. Could have been that. I don't know if that's the case, and that's kind of a reach, but I don't know. I think it's great they had someone check the grades and fix the issue, but it's too bad it turned out this way.
Neil, I misunderstood sorry, Scotty. Yeah, I agree with that. Neil or Scott, have you seen? This just came out today I saw it from Junk Wax Hero. Have you seen this post?
No.
So it's a guy talking about in 2024, he worked with Ryan Hoge, CEO, and a customer service agent. And out of 105 cards, he got only 6 PSA 10s. He said he was upset. They got resubmitted, and 52 of the 99 graded at least a bump ahead, a bump above is what, nothing went lower, and they all went previously graded a PSA 9 or below, received a full grade bump with 0 cards, going lower grade. And he said later, he wanted to talk about, help the issue and talk about, but they never responded after doing that. So here's one case. It's still one out of many, and this was all the way a year ago. So I think the bigger issue is there's too many cards that are graded. This is the obvious one that we could all agree on, is there's no set standard for what grades what.
So, I mean, this situation is getting to the consistency issue more so than the stealing people's money and changing the grade issue after they sell it. Right. So like I view those differently because this consistency, we've all wondered, right? There's a reason why SGC had a 9.5. There's a reason why BGS had a 9.5 and a 10, because the 10 is like a perfect quality. At least it's supposed to be for BGS, right? It's a pristine grade. So, I mean, these type of situations, there are circumstances that, this is one person's side and maybe he's exactly right, but it's always a challenge. I do think Neo's right, by the way. It's probably just based off of a percentage game of like 80%. So that way the market's hot enough to handle all these cards. So that's probably how they're buying. But anyways, I kind of switched topic there. But
I really think a lot of people, because I have conversations with people that are outside, and some show to you, but I think I hear it is an interesting story that what exactly is their third party? Who exactly is it going to? Because it would be interesting to see, 70% of their shit's going to GameStop or mystery packs. Like, that's not a good look, but we also don't know. So I just find people were kept the big flaw in the $35 buyback of this Pokemon card was, well, who was buying it? And someone else bought it, not PSA, but some people are saying PSA. So who bought it? We don't know. And so to me, it's an easy fix. if it's all good on their end, you know, if they're willing to be, why not be transparent?
Yeah, I agree
All
with
right.
you. It's tough. It's a tough situation.
You did see, all right, and you kind of said correlation. My push is these are too important to call. And sometimes I've heard that, and all right, that makes sense. But on this one, it's so hard to believe or hear. Because on just as my view, and I viewed this for years, and this is, you know, before I even started making content, from my view is it's perfect marketing from Topps. Top hasn't built a huge marketing team. And when they give someone like Filthbomb or a big breaker and they hit like this, it gets a lot of eyeballs and excitement. Now I want to go. And so to me, it's just too perfect. I'm not saying anything happened. We can never know. And there's a lot of legitimacy to why it wouldn't have happened, but it's insane. I mean, it's insane.
I wonder, it'd be cool. Maybe this is a video I'll have to do, is figure out the odds of this actually happening based off of print runs and how many boxes exist. Because the challenge is, this is going to be 3 of, I'm actually looking it up, 270. So this is almost 1% of the entire print run. Actually, it's more than 1% of the entire print run of these cards in 3 boxes in a row. There's probably at least 20, 30, 40,000 boxes. And that's across like just hobby boxes. If we combine in like the Breakers Delight,
was it? I think it was cases.
It's just too crazy of a situation. But there's 3 situations here. There's only 3 things it can be. One, collation issues, where it's just random. Like they accidentally put 3 there, and the box odds are accurate, but the case odds aren't accurate. If that's a thing. The second thing is someone loaded a case intentionally and send it out to them. And
was it in one case or was it in back-to-back cases?
It was 3.
I haven't watched 3 boxes in a row.
Yeah.
No fucking way. I thought it was 3 cases in a row.
Either way, it's pretty.
I haven't watched deep enough yet. I just found this out before I came on.
Okay, so at the top it says 3 in the first few cases. So it was in the first few cases.
Still insane though, because that's the other thing. I talked about this with you on one of our off on like a recording. Is I'd love to see print runs, and it's like, well, how many cases exactly are there? So 3 out of, I don't know how many cases are, so I can't do the math. Now you have a crazy way of reverse. That's how I really started watching your channel. You have a crazy way of reverse engineering maybe how many cases there would be.
You'd have to go off of the odds of what's exclusive to each box. You probably could do it with the geometric parallels here as a baseline, just because I believe those are Breakers Delight exclusives. It could be different parallel, but either way, we can figure out what's going on. It'd be interesting.
That's great. Is Breaker Delight, so that's mainly break. I know the public can buy that stuff too, but that's mainly going to breakers.
I think anybody can get it. It was basically HTA before it was Breakers Delight. The whole goal calling it Breakers Delight is going to be to streamline everything but base cards. So that way for breakers, it's easier. That's kind of the idea, but they could have called it just HTA like they did in Bowman Chrome forever. So, but Breakers Delight, you and I could go buy a box.
It had to be Filthbomb. It had to be. I know, but I still think it's good product for them to rip. I think it's a very rippable. It's more rippable.
Much better than opening up a hobby box where you have 90% base.
So is it fair that 3 of those are even? Should they? I'm not fair. Who the fuck's fair? I would again. We don't know this. I'd love to know. Okay, what percentage of those things go in this product, and what percentage of those things go in that product? And maybe we should know, but this is weird. We haven't seen this in a minute either. This was much more prevalent a couple years ago.
Do you remember? Maybe someone in the chat can tell us the situation. There was a time when people were questioning the collation of their cards. They were saying people were getting loaded cases, and they did an internal audit and hired someone to do an audit, and they found nothing wrong with themselves.
But internal audit.
That's the funny thing. Like it's just like you would love to see them do audits more often from a third party who actually isn't being directly paid by them. That'd be cool, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
As Frank said, we have maybe 15, 20 more minutes with Scott, or no, a little more. Throw any questions you have, and towards the end, we'll ask Scotty B any of your questions. Yeah, this was definitely worth chatting about. What other questions do I have for you? Someone mentioned this, and I will also mention it.
David Wright's coming back, huh?
That's in. So,
that's
crazy.
Did you see your slide, the one before?
Oh, where did I see that one?
You said
I
David
think
Wright.
I said, yeah, I know, David. Yeah, I know. In
matter
prep, I'm
retirement.
like, oh, let's pivot. I didn't process, but I'm like, that's not right. Holy shit. Tell me that doesn't look like David Wright. Get out of here.
So I mean, David Wright, all-time Met. I can't be too mad at you. I mean, Pete is the all-time home run leader. I think it's a shame they didn't reassign Alonso, but we kind of got an idea of how they felt about Alonso last year when they offered him. I mean, it was a multi-year deal, I believe, with an opt-out after the first year. When you offer those types of deals as a team, you assume the player is going to opt out. It's kind of just protection for the player, and then you can get the player cheaper every year. So they did not really want Pete Alonso back, if that makes sense. And so last year, Pete was desperate because he had a qualifying offer attached to him. No qualifying offer this year because he re-signed with the Mets. So it doesn't surprise me, but apparently the Mets didn't even make an offer to Pete, which blows my mind. So they traded Brandon Nimmo, who's a fan favorite. They did not sign Edwin Diaz. They went for Devin Williams instead, which is a little bit risky. I mean, Devin Williams, he has probably a higher ceiling at this point, but at the same time, a much lower floor than Edwin Diaz. And then they did not sign Pete Alonso. And I love Paul Goldschmidt. I love him. I love Paul Goldschmidt. But they are looking at Paul Goldschmidt as a replacement. Do you want 38-year-old Paul Goldschmidt?
5 years too late.
Yeah, it's tough. So tough to be a Mets fan. I mean, I don't know what
you hit on it. Is their fan base can't be happy about this?
No, not at all. And honestly, them missing the playoffs this year, I think they just realized we got to change something. But I think they could have ran it back and done okay, if I'm being honest. I think this is just a panic. And their lineup is not good. Marcus Semien, who they traded for Nimmo, is not that good of a hitter. He's a great defender, but he's a sub 100 OPS plus guy, not a great hitter. So they got to sign someone. Maybe they're going to go after Tucker. Maybe they're going to go after Bellinger. I actually saw them connected to Bellinger too, but we'll see.
I have something that's it kind of blew my, we're human, Scott. So this is going to blow some of the viewers. It's going to blow a little bit of your mind.
Okay.
This was written. I have 2 articles here. All right. This one was written 2024. I don't know the exact date. And here is June 22nd, 2024. So that would have been 3 or 4 months into not this year's baseball season, but last year's.
Okay.
All right. So the top 25 players of the 21st century. I think
is this from ESPN? Yeah, obviously it is.
And there's another list too, but it's still, obviously it would be much different if done today, but I just want to point something out a little dramatically. We'll do it on the first list. This is 2024. And they have Garrett Cole, CC Sabathia, number 23, Shohei Ohtani. And they're going back to 90s players, Manny Ramirez, but no, obviously he would not be number 23. Tim Hudson's ahead of him, Adam Wainwright, Chris Sale, maybe arguably, but not really. And here you could scroll down. Yeah, Pujols, okay, Trout, Kershaw, Cabrera, and we got to go all the way down. Where's Ohtani? 14. So, I mean, they do have Rivera ahead of him, Jeter, some legends, Beltray, that's fair, Scherzer, David. It's just he would be higher on both these lists. It's amazing what he just the 50-50, striking out Trout, winning World Series, pitching again. He would be much higher on these lists, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I, on my channel, have not been an Ohtani hater, probably more of an Ohtani doubter at times. And that was nothing against Ohtani. It was just more so a little bit like it was just his age. And before 2020, like 2023, like he had 2 MVPs at the time and he looked great, but he's on the Angels. It wasn't super promising. But once you go to a team like the Dodgers and you win 2 MVPs, you win 2 World Series, and you have an NLCS MVP, and you have the best defensive, not defensive hitter, DH designated hitter season of all time. And then you do what you did this year. Like he's going to be easily number 1. So it just goes to show, though, there's a little bit of recency bias at this time. I believe he was coming off of an injury off of Tommy John surgery at the time. So people were kind of speculating that.
And he didn't pitch that year, but he made up for it in hitting and stolen bases.
Yep. But it just goes to show like who he could be if he didn't pitch. So yeah, he would be higher for sure.
All right. So now the one thing I mentioned, we will go over a different list because I wanted to go over the all-time 100. But I also you have such a knowledge for modern baseball. I assume you have knowledge for older baseball or some vintage because most baseball people are like that. But do you know Mariano Rivera well enough to say you could rank him?
Yeah, of course.
This is close. I mean, I understand Ohtani's probably ahead, but Rivera is an absolute legend. Ohtani's just better.
Yeah. No, I would probably if you scroll up to the top of this list.
Is he going to take over Jeter?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, not even a question. He'll
Not even
overtake Jeter.
Okay,
Beltre?
Beltre, I would have Jeter ahead of Beltre, so okay, but Beltre okay.
Absolutely. Not even a question.
David
Beltre,
Ortiz?
oh yeah, I would say he's already passed him.
Would you have
that's going to piss people off because when I say that, he has 4 MVPs. 3
I think a lot of people
unanimous,
agree at
like,
this point.
But I think he has obviously, a lot of good years ahead of him. So he's only 31 next year. So
It's really easy. Nobody I'm writing a book, Scotty, that goes back in 1909. Okay, Ty
Cool.
Cobb meets Honus Wagner in the World Series that year. The 1909 cards come out there. It follows a bookie, okay, that follows the Pirates. So in 100+ years of baseball, nobody's ever been successful at hitting and pitching. Babe Ruth, kind of, but not like Ohtani. So Ohtani, that's just such a feat. And the fact that nobody else has done it, and he's done it so dominantly.
yes. Yeah, no, I agree completely. And the thing that's cool about Ohtani, so I want you to picture this. If we go to the top of this list, we'll see. Actually,
Would you
mind
take
going to
Jeter over Beltre, by the way, real quick, or Beltre ahead of
mean,
Jeter? Or
what do you
just too
care?
close to call?
It's what you care about. I mean, championships, like actual career, probably pick Jeter's career in New York. But Beltre, if you look at a lot of numbers, like, is he better? They're pretty close, I'd say.
Jeter
So,
just has that, he has that, clubhouse, team leader, the captain, a little bit of that, and that's not on paper or on stats.
Yeah, I agree. So here's the interesting thing about Ohtani. There's a lot of players. There's quite a few. I can think of like even active. Well, Pujols isn't active, but Pujols has 3 MVPs. Trout has 3 MVPs. Judge has 3 MVPs. People, I'm guessing Musial, Mantle, they all have 3 MVPs. No one has 4 besides Bonds. But now we have Shohei Ohtani, who has 4 MVPs, but he's the only person who has more than 3 MVPs with multiple championships. Barry Bonds has 7 with no rings. And I know championships don't matter as much in baseball, and they shouldn't, because if you have the course of a full season, if Ohtani gets 650 plate appearances, that's roughly 10% of his team's chances. If you look at someone who's like a point guard or shooting guard or even a power forward in the NBA, if they're the best player, they're going to have 25 to 50% of the opportunities. So it's hard, but Ohtani is doing something that no one can. He has no holes in his resume. That's
and
the big
everyone
thing.
wants to compare to Mantle. Mantle won championships.
Yeah, but Ohtani has how many teams?
Championships.
How many teams?
Ohtani's winning championships.
How many teams were in Major League Baseball in 1950?
Sure, a lot less. I mean, I would say I wouldn't even say a lot less, but I would guess 20-ish.
I would say probably less than that. Let me look. We had
because even back in that 1909 book, I think there was still like 8 in each division. So I still think there was about 16 then.
Yeah, there's 16 teams in 1950 compared to 30.
Oh,
right
wow.
now. That even makes it harder. It's harder to have a dynasty. Like the 1990s and early 2000s Yankees, that's a true dynasty. They had every team that we currently have now. Same with, the Dodgers right now. So
well, things changed with free agency and people leaving and all the money. Free agents, there wasn't as much bouncing around then. So would you have Ohtani number? Oh, go ahead. I'm curious if you have a number 1, but let's hear Orlando.
I see a collector's dreams comment. I mean, if Babe Ruth can come to 2025 and put those exact numbers up, I would be equally shocked. I don't think it's really.
And I don't even want to. Orlando went to 1 player. How about like I mentioned, every other player in the history of baseball? So you mentioned pretty much the player we all learn about as a kid, the player in movies, the player that stood the test of time. So you're comparing them. I mean, that's a great comparison then for Ohtani because there's no one else we could do it with. So it's incredible what Ohtani's doing. Now I do think it's a little recency bias because I do think he's earned maybe ahead of Trout at this point, but to just put him ahead of Pujols already, that I want to give it some time. Maybe, he is at the top of this list, but Big Al was the best. I mean, the best. 700 homers.
Pujols is essentially criminally underrated across the board. And that's what happens when Albert Pujols has the 30s that he had and going to the Angels and not doing as good as he did. Right? That's what really hurts Pujols' collector's legacy. It doesn't hurt his playing legacy really at all. It's very typical, that decline. It happens to a lot of players. Mickey Mantle was out of the league age 35, 36? Like, Pujols played through it because he had a contract, so he kept playing. But it is one of those things where we forget how good Albert Pujols was. If we had an Albert Pujols type run right now, and starting in 2018, moving forward, we'd be paying a lot more for Albert Pujols cards than we would be for his cards right now. It's just funny how that works.
I'm going to go to chat a minute because we have a lot of vintage guys there sticking up for the. You're mentioning one player, Babe Ruth. There's been in 100 and something years, there's been nobody else as successful and hit in the World Series. Won a game, won in the National League Conference game, pitching like that. Hit 3 home runs and pitched got 10 strikeouts, and nobody's ever done it once. And he does such a high rate. So I'm going at the chat a little because it's a little bit ridiculous. Nobody's ever done it in the history of baseball. I like the history of baseball. Nobody's ever done it. Sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I do want to say, if you ask me who the best player of all time is, I'm going to say it's Babe Ruth as of right now.
Ooh, I mean okay.
That's how I feel as of right now. Like if we look,
I grew up, maybe Willie Mays, but it's hard not to say Babe Ruth. But I just have so much respect and love for Willie Mays.
Yeah, Willie Mays is top 2 or 3 for me. It's like Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Barry Bonds. Put those 3 in any order you like, and I'm cool with it. But the reason I say that is
they both say Babe Ruth.
If we have metrics like OPS plus and we have metrics like WRC plus, that takes your OPS compared to league average. Okay. So it's basically saying how much better you are than your peers. And Babe Ruth has the highest OPS plus of all time. So he has the biggest difference between how he played and the peers he played with.
Oh, he was just far and above. It wasn't even, it wasn't
all
fair.
You can do is like compare against your peers. And the way MVPs worked back when Babe Ruth was playing, I think you could only win one and then you couldn't win another one. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I know that's how some people were. And so Babe Ruth, if he could win MVPs, we talk about, Barry Bonds has the most at 7. Realistically, Babe Ruth would have had 10 or 12 or 13 or 14 because he was the best player that many years. So when I'm saying, like, I made a comment about I'd like to see Babe Ruth do those stats in 2025, I just don't think he would have that much of an edge. But I do think if you gave Babe Ruth enough training, everything, I think he would have been great now too. Who knows what he would be, but he wouldn't be a scrub like people say online.
It's so hard to know, and it's so hard to Babe Ruth liked the booze. He wasn't in the best of shape. Would he be committed to working out? It's such a different world. They have specialist pitchers that come in. It's the black guys play now. Like it is such a different time. It's hard to compare. Ruth crushed his era. It was a dead ball era. He was able to hit the balls out of the park. The home runs brought the fans. The home runs brought the ladies. And again, we remember him through the test of time. Now, this offended me when I see something like this. It's like already the list is trash to me. So I love Pedro Martinez and Felix Hernandez are 2 of my favorite pitchers I've watched. I just love their style. I love their passion, but I can be fair and honest and say, okay, Randy Johnson was probably better than both of them. And Greg Maddux was definitely better than both of them. In this list, as much as I love Pedro, this is a top 100 baseball players of all time from ESPN. And they have Pedro Martinez as the first modern pitcher up, one of the first. He's number 11, ahead of Griffey, ahead of Maddux, ahead of DiMaggio. That's insane to me. I mean, I don't know if you go far back enough to know Pedro, but that's just insane.
Do you remember what year was it? Let me pull up Pedro Martinez's baseball reference page. I want to show you a number. When I hear Pedro Martinez, hate and love, it's like what I think about.
But I mean, number 11 all time, ahead of go look at Greg Maddox's numbers. I mean, I understand Pedro was the man. I loved Pedro, absolutely, just through heat. Not a huge guy.
So Pedro, when we maybe they're looking at peaks more than anything else, because if we want to look at ERA, do you want to guess Pedro Martinez? So Pedro Martinez, he had where'd it go? I had these stats pulled up a second ago. But Pedro, give me one moment. This is the hard part about lives. I think it was in the year 1999, in the height of the steroid era. Let me pull it up real quick. But either way.
And he brought championships to Boston. That was a big deal. It's just crazy, to have him ahead of Greg. And by the way, they have Trout 15. So recency bias is real. Because if you're making this list today, this was 4 years ago, Trout ain't number 15.
Yeah, I remember. I think they put him ahead of Griffey, and that made people mad on that list. Oh no, Griffey's right there. I mean, is Ken Griffey Jr. too high? I mean,
he's ahead of Martinez. I could argue Griffey. I like the list. Yes, it's not even on 20. They have Ricky Henderson number 23. I mean, that's just a crime to me. Ricky Henderson number 23. I think they need to switch Pedro and Ricky Henderson. But yeah, some of it's a funny list. Some things they get right. Some things it just makes me. Pedro at 11 is much. You can't have him ahead of Greg Maddux, and you can't have him ahead of Randy Johnson. Do you have the Pedro stats?
I do have the Pedro stats. Okay. In the year 2000, Pedro Martinez had a 1.74 ERA. All right. And that was literally the height of the steroid era. Do you want to guess who the next closest ERA was and what that ERA was?
Well, I do want to guess. What year?
In the year 2000. You got to look at me in the camera. I don't want you peeking.
No,
I'm just. You got to look at the camera.
I'm trying to like really think of an obscure name. 2000. I will go with the fan favorite. There's no way he's number 2. Tim Hudson.
Tim Hudson is number 9.
Hey now.
But the next closest.
Roy Halladay.
Roy Halladay? No, it was Roger Clemens. Okay.
Okay.
You want to guess sense. Roger Clemens' ERA at number 2?
He was doing the roids also.
He was doing steroids. Do you want to guess what his ERA was that year?
2.6.
3.7. So
and what was Pedro's?
1.74 at number 1. But like just like the jump, there was no pitcher. There's only 3 pitchers under 3.8, right? So and Pedro's at 1.74. So you could argue his peak is one of the most dominant peaks of all time. And if we look at ERA plus, which again is very similar to OPS plus, it tells that story. He had a 291 ERA plus that year, which is insane for a modern player. That's the year 2000. It's not like the 1910s. It's really, really impressive. So I get it, but I always have a hard time ranking pitchers in general because what do you care about? Do you care about peak more? Do you care about awards more? Do you care about strikeouts more? Because if you care about strikeouts, obviously Randy could be higher and Nolan Ryan could be higher, but Nolan Ryan doesn't have the best ERA, doesn't have a Cy Young. It's a debate that you can have. Tom Glavine's a good example. You could argue as well. Doesn't have the strikeouts either.
I still, I was my biggest time in baseball, and as great as Pedro was, Greg Maddux and Randy Johnson are just. Greg Maddux could, if you could look at some of those stats that he has out there, and just and he did it so differently. So to me, I don't know, and have him ahead of Griffey. A lot of people love Griffey and would put Griffey ahead of Pedro, but I just wanted to point that out. What else do we have, Scott? Got AIH calling in soon. I wanted questions from chat. Let's see what we have, Scott. There's some here. I think, why can't I get rid of that? No. Oh, sorry. Let's get a comment up there. Something's weird. It's hard for me to see this. Let's see. Scottie did a great video on Trout cards. I did see that. Like kind of the fall of Trout cards. Why did Scottie spend $3,000 on a Mike Trout card? Insane. Let's hear it, Scott.
Because it's a good card.
What card was it? Is this recently?
Yeah, it was like this past month.
So you think it's a good time maybe to buy? He's down.
Well, I mean, there's still a collector in me in there. It's not all about money,
Okay. Hey now.
But that card is 2011 Topps Finest. It's my favorite set of all time. I can show the card if you would like me to.
Sure, yeah. And I'm going to pull it up. 2011 Topps Finest.
Yeah. Gold, Mike Trout. Oh, you have one too many ones.
Okay. Whoop. All right, here we go. 2000. And then I'd love to see this card right here.
No, it's the autograph. And I bought it on eBay just like a few months ago.
The one next to it?
No, mine's a PSA 8. So you could say I spent that much on a PSA 8, which might make people think I'm crazy.
But this is the raw card here. This would be the same card?
Yeah. Yep. So Mike Trout, he has 2 rookie autograph sets. He has 2 total ever made. If you look at someone like Ellie De La Cruz or James Wood, they're going to have 50 to 70 from Topps alone. So for that purpose, this card is intriguing to me. Plus 2011 Topps Finest is one of the best sets of all time. It's Mike Trout's only on-card rookie autograph because his Bowman Sterling is a sticker autograph. There's a whole bunch of reasons why I think this card is special. And right now it's easy to hate Mike Trout because he's having a down part of his career, but it's a typical drop. And so for me, it was just a really cool card. Really bold autograph, which is rare for this set. So I bought it because I liked it. So,
and another thing for Trout is he doesn't, compared to a lot of other players printed in the last 20 years, he doesn't have a ton of rookie cards. I know he has a couple that have a higher pop count for relatively their low pop count as well.
Yep. Nope. Yep. That's exactly right. He has a total of 1,400, give or take about 10 either direction, rookie autographs, and every rookie autograph is serial numbered, so you can actually keep track of it. So he has he only has 5 pack pulled rookie sets, and then he has 1 online exclusive release. So Mike Trout cards are very unique. That's why his Topps Update card got so high. There's no Topps Chrome to really compete with it. So it was a very unique situation.
Orlando asked, Judge or Ohtani, who'd you prefer on your team? I mean, Judge is great, but it's an easy answer for me. And again, maybe recently they beat him in the World Series. They went back and won a World Series. Ohtani, just the way he could pitch in the previous playoffs and hit. For me, it would be Ohtani. How about you, Scott?
Baseball's a funny sport. If you switched Ohtani and Judge teams in the 2024 World Series, the Yankees still lose and the Dodgers still win. It's one of those sports. Ohtani, he got hurt. He tore his labrum in his shoulder sliding, I think, the first game. I have a torn labrum right now. I don't know how he was doing anything with it, if I'm being honest. We've talked about this before. And Ohtani was terrible. And it's not because of him they won that World Series. You could argue it's because of him they got to that World Series. So it's just the way that baseball is. It's the hard part of baseball. But you have to take Ohtani just because of the upside. Plus, if you're a team, Ohtani makes you more money. We see how much money Ohtani has made for the Dodgers. Apparently, they've already paid off his entire $700 million contract in his first 2 years of being there. Like, he is an international phenom, which Judge is fantastic. He's the face of the biggest brand of sports with the Dodgers. But Ohtani just brings in so much attention and dollars from advertisers and everything that it's too hard to say no to him. Plus, his play is amazing too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And to me, the pitching can't be understated. I mean, the pitching is just when he's healthy and when he can have an under 3 ERA or thereabouts and win you games, plus hit home runs, plus bring a boost. He led the Dodgers the regular season. The Dodgers had a lot of issues. The only guy performing, and then it kind of switched in the playoffs where Ohtani didn't perform as well the first bit of the playoffs. But throughout the regular season, Ohtani was the only guy keeping the Dodgers around.
Yeah. A lot of injuries. Mookie wasn't very good this year compared to where he typically is because he lost so much weight. But I will say this, Shohei Ohtani is not as good of a hitter as Aaron Judge. I don't think you really can even contest that. But can you say he's a better player? Sure. And plus, Aaron Judge is a plus defender in the outfield. I really like both of them. So don't think I'm hating on Judge if you're a Yankees fan. I watched just as many Judge at-bats as Ohtani at-bats this year, and I love Judge. So
Judge is the second best player in the league right now. I mean, I already know your answer, and I've never talked to you about it because nobody agrees with me here. But for me as a basketball and football guy, and then baseball as well, it's going to be tops after tops after tops, and I find it's going to get a little bit stale. We're going to feel a burnout on tops at some point. Yeah, he could argue boom, but it's just going to always be the same thing for every sport. For me, I could see there end up being a burnout for that. Do you see any validity to that? Or I haven't gotten any love on this take, so I'm assuming I won't get love here either.
So one of my favorite pastimes to do is to go back to old MVP votes and see how off they are to modern standards. Go look at who's a good example. Who beat out like even Jeff Kent beating Barry Bonds, right? Not that long ago. It's one of my favorite things to do. You can go back and you can see how they made a weird case for a player that didn't deserve it. But if you look at now in 2025, we're such a hive mind of knowing all of the data and all the information so well that we all think so similarly and we all make the exact same decision. And that's why we have so many unanimous MVPs. I'm getting to your question. But the reason I say that is that's what we're going to be with baseball and basketball and football. If Topps keeps the same sets, we're just going to see a hive mind, people chasing the same 3-4 sets across all sports. And that can be boring, right? And so it's kind of what's going to be happening. MVP voting is kind of boring now. You know who's going to win pretty far in advance. The Cal Raleigh Judge stuff was a really good run, one of the more rare situations like that in the last few years. But when you have less competition, what's going to happen is you just put yourself in a situation where there's no innovation, right? There's no reason to really go above and beyond. You are looking at like just how much this is going to make versus can I stay afloat? Where back in the 90s, a lot of the innovation we had, game use cards, autograph cards, back cards, all these crazy things they did, even 1 of 1s and out of 5s. In 1998 Bowman Chrome with the the golden anniversary refractor. Those all came because of competition. So we're lacking that now. So we might have just like a run of really not boring, because actually I've been impressed with what Topps has done with baseball lately in regards to new cards, but we're going to see a lot of collectors going after the same stuff. And I think that's boring in general.
Let me go on a 30-second rant here. I'm going to this guy mentions what Ohtani was using performance enhancers. First of all, he's probably gambling. They brush that on the road. That's fine. He's great for baseball. He had some real estate, his manager's taking the fall for it in Hawaii. But to me, whenever you see someone that dominant compared to everybody else, sure. And he has enough money to hide it. I'm not even saying he's a bad guy. If I'm a Barry Bond, I grew up a huge Barry Bonds fan. I lived in the Bay. I believe LeBron, there's definitely rumors out there. Chael Sonnen said they have the same drug guy. So whenever you're that much better than that, you can make the same point for Judge. I'm proud, everyone's saying, oh, I know nothing. But it does make me think. So you're not crazy. And then Scotty, a question for you. Who do you watch on YouTube? I actually thought I don't watch a ton of content. I watch some, not a lot. Do you have a couple that you watch, or who we give some love to, a couple channels? Yeah, there's a lot of channels I enjoy. I try, and I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way. And if it comes off the wrong way, just know I mean it in not a bad way. A lot of times I try not to watch channels too similarly to mine because I don't want to take their ideas subconsciously, or, you know what I mean? I don't want to feel like I'm ripping someone off. So I try not to do that. But like Neo does a great job. I watch Neo's videos because he generally does a good job of summarizing the content. Let me go look at my subscription list. That's going to be the easiest way so I don't forget people. Spitball and Cards, the best channel outside of mine in the world. Check them out. Cards, of course. By the way, you guys are killing with that channel right now. It's doing well. It's doing good. People really want a baseball card podcast versus just a single opinion, which is nice. I like Elite Co 3. I've always been a big Elite Co 3 fan. He always does fantastic. Elite Co? I've actually never heard of that. What is it? Elite? Yeah, Elite Co 3. Okay. So I really like his content. I have a couple smaller creators. Let me see if I can find their names, because there's a couple people I want to make sure I say his name before I hop off. But what he does a really good job of highlighting Hall of Fame caliber players as they're approaching the Hall of Fame. And every single year he does an off-season like Hall of Fame comparison. I can't think of his name. I don't know if you can add it in post or not. Maybe you can add it in the description. But I like his channel a ton. But yeah, there's quite a few. I like Tan Man. You're baseball. Mainly watching baseball channels, clearly. I have no interest in basketball and football. Like, no offense. There's a lot of great content in that space. I also have no interest in. I have zero interest. Oh, Ty. I like Ty Market Movers channel. Ty, my friend Ty. Your boy. He does a good job. Teapot. And Blind About Slabbing, I'm just kind of saying my friends, which I know isn't very cool. But I have no interest in. I gave love to Elite Co 3. Yeah, I'd never heard of this channel. Lico's a good guy. He's been around forever. And he's just subscribed. But vlogs, I have no interest in vlogs in any way, shape, or form. They don't do anything for me. I mean, like, there's other great channels too. Like Chasing Cardboard is really good. That's like very high quality. It's like nothing anybody else is even doing, which is nice. But yeah, a lot of good stuff. Scott, I think on that end, I want to say, thank you so much for coming on. I thought it was great. Me and Scotty had a conversation a few days back. I'll release that probably in the morning tomorrow or maybe Friday, but we talk about basketball and baseball and modern and vintage. And it was, he represents the modern side and I represent the vintage side. And I thought it was a great, I think it's good to hear a lot of a lot of us guys don't see why, so you gave some good reasons and good points why. Yeah. I mean, there's arguments for it. It's easier to make money with if your goal is to make money. If your goal is not to make money, then, I mean, if you just prefer the history of baseball, if you're a true collector, vintage probably speaks to you more, especially at the prices of some of this stuff. But one other shout out, this one's not going to be too surprising, but Baseball Card Collector Investor Dealer, fantastic channel. Oh yeah, the best. Chris does a great job too. So no, yeah, that was a fun conversation. So stay tuned for that one. And if you ever have any questions, let me know. So Scotty, we have 180 people in here. Thank you for hopping on the live, man. Have a good rest of your week. Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me on, and enjoy your evening, everybody. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, Scott. Bye. Hey, now that was awesome. And then, right on the heels of that, no time to rest.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Hey now, Mr. O, how you doing?
Hey man, how's it going?
I'm doing well. I want to make sure, Scotty, you're getting a lot of thanks in the chat, and Scott, really thanks for calling. AIH, I'm looking forward to I think you have a couple good good stories that people just don't hear. I watched her last video. I found it interesting. I think they're also just, some of the channels are lazy or status quo. They just want to keep doing what they're doing because it works. I don't know if they're all bought off, but Ro, where do you want to take us tonight?
Yeah, just before I begin into this McDavid story. So since you are the professor and you were talking about baseball earlier on, do you think it's a mere coincidence that Greg Maddux retired with one more win than Roger Clemens? Coincidence or not?
Do you think did he? I would have to see the end of his career. Like, what you're saying? Like, maybe it was a goal for him to get that one more.
Yeah, because didn't Maddux retire after Clemens?
Maddux kept playing for a minute there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd have to look more into it, but that's interesting. So he only had one, he had one more win than Roger. And by the way, how about you? Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson, or Greg Maddux? Of the three, who they're all legendary, but who's the best?
I mean, I'm a Chicago guy, so I'd have to go with Maddux. But I would say in his prime, Pedro was probably the most electric. Even though Randy Johnson won, 2 rings? Right? Did Randy Johnson win 2 rings? Or is it 1?
Arizona, and he might have won another one.
I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing him with what's his name? The guy who also pitched with Kurt Schilling. Yeah, maybe I'm confusing with Schilling, but yeah. I would say, I mean, they're both great pitchers, or all three of them. But, me, a Chicago guy, Maddux. You?
Oh, yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah, no, I would also probably, Maddux was just on another level. And did it did it with style, did it with the soft pitch. He could just place it wherever he wanted.
Right.
All right. So I do think the Connor McDavid story is worth, talking about.
Yeah. And people could go on Blowout and they can get the full details of it. It's the Altered Cup, 29 out of 99. And I first did this story 3 years ago. And, once again, shout out to the investigators on Blowout. They made this possible for all this information out there. And the reality of it is you're showing a picture right now. This was a BGS 8.5. And this initially, it was then taken off. And somehow this 8.5, that had a trim towards the top, and you could go down below in the pictures, that trim disappeared. And you could tell it's the same card because you could see, by the way, it's serial numbered, right? 29 out of 99.
Where's that serial number on the front?
You see that? Go up.
Oh,
go
yep,
up. You see that in the silver, right? It's 29 out of 99.
And
you go over here. Yeah, it's hard to see in this picture here, but it's still the 29 out of 99. And I think the Blowout Forum guys, if you go, it's either on this page or the other. Let me go to that as well. They have a comparison of this. It's down below. You could see the trim version versus the non-trimmed. You see that? It's a few segments down.
Oh, scroll down.
Yeah, scroll down. You see that?
There it
is.
is.
You see the trimmed versus the non-trimmed. You see that? And then there's more.
A little hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I think they have it on another page as well. Let me see.
Also, it wouldn't have got this much if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think they had some. There's another one there to me, or no, it's the same. Okay.
Let's see this.
I also thought there was a damaged corner, which to me I couldn't tell, but for sure. But it looked like it doesn't deserve a 10. There was a damaged corner.
Yeah, but this card is not a PSA 10. And ultimately, what ended up happening was this card, when it became a PSA 10 magically from PSA, this went on PWCC, but then they took it off. But then they brought it back online. I emailed PWCC a while back, and what their reasoning is that this card was legit, according to PSA. There was no hanky-panky found, even though the Blowout Forum individuals found out that, hey, look, this is trimmed. Now, this went nowhere. And it was, I think, earlier this year, you had Acquire, Jesse Craig. He had it on his website.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here.
It's true. I have an email back and forth with him from earlier this year, and I did a video on this as well. And ultimately, he said that he's going to take off this card from Acquire. He's going to reach out to PSA. So let me go to that email that I have from Jesse Craig. He was very polite. He said that he's going to take it down in more research. A couple days later, this was earlier this year in January, he says, wanted to give you a heads up. After doing more research, the card indeed did go to PSA and get verified as good. And he said that any potential buyer, they will know of all the details. Now, what my question is when this card went on Fanatics Collect in November, was that a consignment through Jesse Craig? That's what I'm just wondering, like, who
this card is out there still in circulation. There's nothing been done about it being, going from an 8.5 to a 10 and possibly being trimmed. Nothing ever got done about it.
Yeah, nothing got done about this. And a lot of people right now are, I wouldn't say virtue signaling about PSA. Some people that I'm cool with, they're going after PSA. That's fine. Everyone has their opinion. But some of the people that are not consistent, they're going after PSA. And they didn't go hard after Probstein. So I just found that really strange, to be honest.
You brought up PSA. So we've all heard the different. What the hell happened here with the Pokemon thing? What is your take on what happened? What's going on with PSA? I've asked everybody. Now I'm curious. Yours, very curious.
I mean, they got busted with this. Now my question is, how many other times have they done this? I got a DM from one of the guys that I've done a live with, and he said that some intel he's getting, he couldn't verify it, is that some guys are paying people under the table, allegedly, at these grading companies to get higher grades. Can I prove it? No. But, you just got to realize with what's going on with Probstein, what happens behind closed doors. We discussed this last week. And, I get, once again, crazy intel from insiders, but I can't run with those stories because I can't prove it. But I'm sure there's all sorts of, as Neo says, shenanigans going on. So it just seems like really strange with that. And what I find crazy is that a lot of people that were going after PSA this week, they're not touching the story. Why aren't they touching the story? I mean, it's been around for 3 years. This card sold on
I think a lot of people don't know. I'm glad you're bringing. I think a lot of people have gotten in the last 3 years. Now, not the content people, but I just think I'm glad you brought it up because I think a lot of people don't have a clue.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I touched base on it. Sports Card Radio shouted out my story once again on Instagram. So people have seen it. Content creators follow my channel on Instagram. They watch my videos, even though I don't get that many views. They know of this story, but they're going after PSA over what? What are they, $30 PSA 9 cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the premise is that it's a dirty buyback. It's more than just
it's not a good look on PSA. I'm not defending them at all.
So what is your problem here? That they're grading a trim card a PSA 10?
Yeah, they're grading a card that's PSA 10 and they're not deactivating it. And also the content creators are not touching this at all. I'm looking at Collect. Collect probably knows of this information. I don't see this on Collect.
Oh, you will never. That's right.
Yeah. Like Will Stern wrote a piece on November 6th. And they're talking about how this Connor McDavid rookie patch could set record. I mean, the record was what? I think over $200,000 on Probstein a few years ago.
Oh, that's what this card goes for?
It sold for $264,000. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because the materiality. Yeah, because PSA 9, buyback was dirty, as you said, like all the content creators are correct about. But where's the outrage on this? And one of the last things I want to leave on is that you have to see that this card, once again, $264,000. And the reality of the situation is that you have bunch of buyers, bunch of sellers that aren't informed about this. And I just find it really, really strange that they don't want to talk about this. Content creators, hobby outlets, the whole 9 yards. And the other weird part is that when PSA deactivates these trim cards, they go to some other YouTube channels that talk about this. Neo talked about when an Ohtani card, do you remember that from a year or two ago?
Yeah, go ahead and tell the story. I'm not sure if I remember.
Yeah. Neo did a video about a trimmed Ohtani card, and PSA all of a sudden deactivated it. It was, I think, going for tens of thousands of dollars. But this card, you know, I'm talking about this. There's a few other Instagram channels talking about this as well. This Cardboard Life shared it the other day. PSA just looks the other way. I just find it strange.
Yeah, no, it is strange. And I still didn't get, so you were going to say, you know, was it an employee at PSA? Is PSA doing nefarious things with that graded thing? Is it just, my take is they're getting too big for themselves. They're just they just got too big, and it's too much. There's not enough oversight. There's not enough doing it the right way because they're expanding at such a rate. I don't know. You don't have a specific take. You just think maybe shenanigans.
Yeah, exactly. And then the thing is that if they start, deactivating these cards, they have to pay the other individual that money, and it's up to a certain amount. I forget what's the most amount that an individual can get from a card. Is it
through PSA? I think it was half a million.
Yeah, it's a $500,000. So they have to take that out, and they would lose money on that. So what they're doing, in my opinion, is they're just laying low on some of these cards, and until a bigger channel like Neo covers it, they're going to do nothing.
Calling them out.
I'm not calling Neo out. I'm just, PSA is only going to go after the bigger channels, or they're going to look at what the bigger channels say, and if they're covering it, that's when they're going to get involved. So when they see someone, they're going to brand me as a conspiracy theorist or whatever. And there's not enough traction for them to deactivate it. So, and I still don't understand how they determined this card was actually legit.
Yeah, and from 8.5 to 10 also. And by the way, what were the subgrades up here? Subgrades were 9.5 centering, 8.5 edges. The corners were an 8. And that was the first thing when I saw, I couldn't tell it. I still can't tell if this corner is like a piece of snowflake or just peeled back. It should be all blue. And that was the first thing that caught my eye, was that's clearly can't be a 10, because, and it's on the other card is, it doesn't show the back of the good one, but I'd be curious. Raul, Probstein just moved over to eBay. Like, no, you can't see the damn. You couldn't even see it. Hold on, I want to show it. Here's the corner I was just talking about right here, where I don't think it's like a snowflake. I think it's supposed to be blue, just like this. So it's clearly can't be a 10. In my opinion, I don't know what the other one looks like. It doesn't have the back of this one, the 10. But Probstein moved over to eBay like nothing, no problem. That's. Do you think there'll be more? And number two, a friend sent me. I can't find these on eBay, but he has his own mystery ink box. Maybe he has his own mystery packs. They ended up selling yesterday. They sold for nothing, $27, $31. It's on bid now, by the way. So is he going to face any repercussions? Do you think anybody's looking into all that? It's just too smooth easy of a transition over.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't know how he could, if the feds come after him, he could be like, hey, look, these were not legitimate auctions, so you can't come after me. So it's technically not shill bidding. Could he use that defense? Any lawyers in the house can comment on that? That's what I'm just wondering. What do you think?
I think it would be interesting to be investigated. I think that it's not as easy as just saying one line and if they're going to actually investigate it, he's going to have to do better than just one line, or that line at least. And I also think there's the whole element that someone else brought up, that people got their information hacked and stolen, and I still don't think he's addressed that at all. I mean, that I don't know if anyone's pushing that subject or he gets in trouble for that, but that's a whole nother. People got all their data stolen. When that happens on another site, not every site, but when that's happened in my life, they give you a free year of credit score check, and they want to kiss up to a little bit, where I don't even think he's reached out to the people. And if he has, it's been the last few days, because as far the latest I've heard, he hasn't even reached out to these people. So
has Beckett made any announcement regarding their data breach?
That was recent as well, but how long ago was that? About a year or two ago?
I think it was last couple of months.
Oh, that recent?
Yeah. So it was Beckett that had it. Probstein was much worse, because they were shill bidding on a Mickey Mantle 1952, even though it was a PSA 1 card. But that's insane. Using the Honey Bunny account and the John Piccoli account, whatever it is.
What do you know? I made a Honey Bunny sweater right there. Honey plus bunny plus 1, 2, 3 shilling. Yeah, funny.
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
Funny
like the last thing I want to get on is Darren Revelve didn't call him out by name. The Fanatics-based influencers would not call him out by name. I mean, some of them did, but a vast majority of them didn't.
Hey, maybe you don't want, Darren Revelve sucks at this. I know he likes sports. He wants to be Darren Revelve. I don't like his takes at all.
He was good with the card porn situation. I don't know how much.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was like a couple years ago. He was great when it came to that. But when it came to Probstein, some dude sent me that he used to do some collabs with Probstein on eBay. I didn't look into it. But, he consigns a lot, from my understanding, through Probstein. And then, once again, these Fanatics-based influencers, whether they have a contract with them, NDA, whatever, quiet on Probstein, couldn't call him out by name. But then all of a sudden, we're going hard after PSA. Call it a coincidence. Just like Greg Maddux having one more win than Roger Clemens. So I'll leave it on that.
Hey, man, great call.
Yeah.
And keep bringing the unique stuff. We love it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on again.
Oh, anytime. Have a good week. Yeah. All right. Two good calls. We have voicemails coming up. This was an interesting story about the Connor McDavid. I want to get a hockey guy in here, so we got a little hockey tonight. Excuse me. I got voicemails. I wanted to highlight Collector's Dream is always here, Orlando. And he doesn't get a ton of love on a ton of views, 1,000, 900, more than I remember, 1.3 or these, that's just not, if we go to his videos, they're going to be less than that. But that's, he's not trying to get thousands and thousands of views. But look at this, 1,000, 244. All right, you've coming up, Orlando. Because I remember it like this, 261, 241, 199. So good for you, 557, 1.6. Oh, come on now. You're teasing me with this one. This is not fair. This is just right up my alley. I want to look at. I'm gonna have to watch that later. It's not riveting stuff. He reminded me of Bob Ross, actually, just a very calming, chill voice, but really a nice collection. Go watch. I mean, here's a Joe DeMaio. The further you get, the better is, the better in his ranking it gets. But really nice vintage collection. And if you need something to sleep to, he has that voice in this. It's Bob Ross. I'm telling you.
Range. And here comes another one of my beautiful Goodwin champions.
He has some really good knowledge. You mentioned a boxer. I love boxing. I love history of boxing. You mentioned the first champion of all time. And I don't even remember his name now, but go check out his video. Well, I want to listen to like 20 more seconds just so you can get a vibe of that Bob Ross voice. I love it.
Boxer.
Oh, one more. Oh, here it is, the boxer. And then he has that plastic in the background. It's like, what is the word? ASMR. I enjoyed this. Here's the boxer, and then we'll move on.
And the first heavyweight champion of the world, John L. Sullivan.
What year is that card?
Received the first. They made the heavyweight championship belt for John L. Sullivan. And if you don't know anything about John L. Sullivan, this is in a near mint 7, which is the second highest grade.
I'm sure that's a hard to get a 7. Orlando, what you own? 1888. Holy shit. A PSA 7 from 1888. And he says they made the world championship belt for this guy, so you're going to hear some knowledge. slow paced. It's relaxing. If you need to chill out.
And John L. Sullivan was he won over 300 fights undefeated, bare knuckles.
Bare knuckle boxer. Oh my goodness, I'll mess you up. Okay, what else? What else do we have? I thought the war was interesting. You have Ohtani at he's what, number 16 in current players with war. He's been playing 8 years. He's 30 years old. You can see he's 51.5. So he's going to pass some of these, maybe not Aaron Judge. There he is, 62.3. He's played 10 seasons. He's 33. The one thing I thought was interesting, you see nobody under 30 on this list. I mean, here's first guy's Juan Soto down at 26. He's 26 years old. Also, he came in the league young because he's been in the league 8 years now. He's 26 years old. If we keep scrolling down, it's nobody under 30. Just absolutely nobody. There's one other guy. I was surprised. Cody Bellinger, 46 overall in war. Wins above replacement. And then you have Acuna down here, also played 8 seasons. The problem with Acuna is of those 8 seasons, he just hasn't been healthy enough. I mean, let's just really quickly, 8 seasons. We looked at Juan Soto, and Soto's had some injury problems. Where was Soto? He has 4,800 at bats, and he's even had some injury problems. 4,800 at bats in his 8 seasons, where you look at Acuna, he's only had 3,600 at bats. I mean, that's 2 full seasons that are just not there. So that's because he's probably the best player of these. He's clearly, of the young guys, he's better than Bellinger, and a healthy Acuna I have ahead of Soto. You might not. I found, these rankings were all right. Kershaw, Cabrera. I thought Ichiro ahead of Bonds. That's a whole. When I see that, I love Ichiro. Great player, phenomenal, phenom, part of my childhood. But Bonds is better. Have Cabrera ahead of Bonds. Bonds is better. Having Kershaw ahead of Bonds, a Dodger fan an LA fan made this list. Get out of here with that. Manny Ramirez, Chris. Let's see who they had number 1. Probably going to be Pujols also. A-Rod number 2. So you can see all the lists can be very different. It's hard to make lists. There's Kershaw. Where do they have Bonds? Or they don't have Bonds on this? They don't go like, they don't have Bonds on this? Okay, a little different. This was in reference. I want to watch this video. Let's watch it. We hinted at it with Scotty B. The 3 debut patches were pulled. This is black and gold sports cards. This is the big story right now. And that's one thing I struggle with, because if I didn't come live tonight, I would have fucking crushed a video on this. This is prime time YouTube. People are going to watch when you talk about this, Charles. Maybe not. I don't know. You're still fresh, but this is a story. But now I'm doing it on the live instead of sitting, and coming out of it nowhere. Oh shit, we got to hear this. It's already been talked about on the live. So anyways, it does eat into a little bit of the video stuff. I have some great videos planning or prepared for, the next month or 2 here, and not made yet, but ideas here. Let's watch it.
Got 3 debut patches in 3 consecutive boxes.
Boxes. Scotty was right. Not 3 consecutive cases. 3 fucking consecutive boxes. And I don't, James Run Good Life talked about collation issues, and that's fair. I think, okay, sometimes that is the problem. But with these bigger cards, I don't want to hear the collation side. That's not the case. There's no way, oh yeah, bad collation, we put 3 in the same case. My ass, 3 in back-to-back-to-back boxes. I don't buy its collation. I don't. I buy that Filth Bomb is one of the biggest breakers in the country, one of the biggest breakers in the world. They're breaking a product with the biggest card in all of baseball for the whole year. So if you could pull 3 of those out, holy shit, do you get interest in this product? Did someone just call in? We got Charles. Charles, I'm going to watch this video, and then we'll put Charles on. Let's watch. That's one thing I want to, I skipped too much here, but I want to watch this video, and then we'll put Charles on.
Congrats to them, man. That's just a great string of good luck. That's unbelievable almost. This certainly does not help the conspiracy that breakers are getting juiced boxes. I mean, we break too, but I've never seen anything like this. 3 consecutive boxes. Oh, they order a lot.
Even a breaker calling out breakers.
A product, they were bound to hit this. It's just the numbers. There are only 270 total patches. They hit 3 back to back to back. There is supposed to be less than 1 of these per.
What is this, math to the 2nd power? You're adding some zeros there. If the odds of pulling a card from 1 box. The thing is, nobody understands math. 1/466 3 power. And how do we even know? Extremely unlikely. 89, a million, 1 shot. I did this when Blez Sports Cards pulled a Wemby. I also got some ridiculous number on how it could happen. And he pulled that many Wembys at back to back to back. Nebula, the 1 of 1 Nebula. He pulled Anthony Edwards, LaMelo, and of course the Wemby for Papa Pig. I don't remember his name. Papa something out in Asia.
Per 100 cases. I mean, please let me know what you think, because what else is there to think at this point? I don't mean to be a conspiracy guy. I'm just here to report what
It's not being conspiracy. Everyone just paints it as conspiracy because it's easy to say. There's too much shit that goes on. There's too much weird stuff.
happened this morning. What do you guys think? Suspicious or lucky? So, Phil.
No, I don't think lucky. Let's also look at some what do these comments say over here. I actually personally know one of the popular filth bomb breakers. He was a friend of mine when younger, so from time to time we hung out. I always remember how fake this person was, playing poker at his house, getting ripped off and short some money. Would not shock me this bum was running a scam. Hobby boxes after it wasn't a hobby box though. Sickening. No longer a hobby, it's a setup. Send breakers, hits for sales. They're not even hiding it anymore. Not buying this product if all the chase cards are being sent to breakers. All right, let's throw Charles. What does Charles have to say about this whole incident? Charles, how you doing?
Doing great, Professor. So let's just jump right in here in the deep end. Filth bomb, the whole breaking they do, they're dipshits, okay? Let's just get that off Jump Street. They're dipshits. All right. They're
why?
muscleheads.
Let's hear it. Why? How come, I don't break? So why? You actually, you came on. You're the one that turned me on to Run Good. Okay, you talk real good things about Run Good Life. I found out I got more of a take from the community. Sure. So now you're sitting here saying, no, they're not all equal. Filth Bomb is actually garbage.
No, Filth Bomb is fucking garbage. And here's why. He is a 100% shield for Fanatics. He is the face of their Fanatics Live. He gets first priority over every single product they come out with. So, of course, the first person that rips 3 of these very apparently rare 1 in 80 million, really 1 in 80 million, and they're doing 3 back to back to back.
Even if it's 1 in 10 million or 5 million, it's still ridiculous. Even if it's 1 in a million.
1 in a million is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, what the most ridiculous thing about it is that it's not talked about enough. This is just 100% Fanatics curating this box for Filth Bomb to rip.
Pac-Man's out there. Pac-Man's out there somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure. And Pac-Man wishes he was doing this. He's
no, he was. That was always. This was my take all along. With it was great publicity. Maybe not anymore. I don't know. I don't watch Pac-Man. There was some point in time, Pac-Man was definitely getting stuff. I'm not saying they were all loaded, but to promote, to make it. There's a lot of eyeballs. And that's what I think happened here. And it sounds like you think that same thing.
Exactly. And it's so obvious. It's so painfully obvious, and it drives me crazy that it's not talked about enough. Plus, here's the biggest thing to me. I'm a card collector, right? I've not heard one fucking time which of these cards were pulled. Who's a rookie? All it says is 3 of them were pulled. Who? You know why? Because no one really either gives a shit or it's nobody that you want to collect. Because there's 250...
Scotty B brought up one of the names, and he said he was a semi-good prospect. I don't remember the name he brought up.
Okay, there's 250 rookies in this set. 250 rookies, all right? The Cubs that I want to collect, there's about 3 or 4 of them. So, do you think I'm going to rip Topps Chrome Update to try to find them? Hell no. I'm going to buy the singles because why would I want to, I'll go shoot some dice if I want to do that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Because that's what you're doing when you're opening these packs and you're getting into these breaks. It's ridiculous. And Filth Bomb, the way he acts, the way they conduct themselves, the way they
why? Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Give us some why, and then after Charles, we'll do voicemails, and then we'll take a few more callers. But Charles, why do you not like how Filth Bomb? Is it just obvious? If I went into one of their rooms, it'd be obvious. Oh yeah, or how come?
It's obvious that there's elitist bullshit going on. There's certain people that are always in their breaks that are the high rollers, the whales that will spend on everything. They have an environment that's very frat boy-like. So if you go to a frat house, that's what you're walking into. You're going into a, Filth Bomb break. You're going into a frat house break.
Okay.
You're like, bro, look at this. We're transparent. We're this. We're that. You're just seriously making it so much worse for people that are actually trying to do breaks that have some sort of integrity, which I don't know how much you can have doing breaks at this point without making any money. But they suck. Phil
And
Bomb sucks.
you know what's insane to me is like there's so we don't talk about something. We don't, but it's like CT scanners, trimming, altering cards, fake cards from China, PSA's problems. It just fanatics owning everything. It's just there's so many different things. The breakers getting loaded product. Even if only 3 of them are valid, there's too much on the there's too much being thrown. There's too much out there for some of it not to actually smell.
Let me tell Sports Daily here something. I was in Teak when I was in college, pal, and I didn't destroy that. They didn't destroy me. I destroyed that fucking house when I got drunk. So drop that bullshit. Anyway, the point is,
I have no idea what the fuck. Okay.
Yeah, he just said, "Oh, they would destroy me in a frat house." Like I've never been in a frat house. So I guess we found the frat boy in the chat, right? So
fucking Charles, of course.
The bottom line is this. All right, are all breaks bad? No. Is breaking somewhat getting bad now? It's getting a bad rap? Yes, because of this kind
well, not
of shit.
now. It's been for.
But it's even
and there's an
worse.
echo for. I think there's an echo on your end, maybe on mine. I'm not a big one. I hear myself every other word. I don't know. It's not a big deal, but no, this is continues. This happens. This is the first time it's happened in a while at this level. This has definitely been stories over the years that
Because
I've made.
It's the first major product thing that's come out, like this first major card.
It's a big one. It's the biggest card. Isn't that the biggest baseball card of the year? Is that?
Yes. Yeah. It's the one that Paul Skeens had that was like over a couple million
Dick's
bucks.
paid $1 million for it.
Yeah. And so Roki Sasaki's the big chase. Nick Hurts, of course, is the big chase. And, I would be chasing Kate Horton or Matt Shaw if I had, infinite amounts of money, which I don't. So I'll just dream about that card and look at it and be like, oh, that's cool. Someone has
Charles,
it.
anything else you want to get into?
Just the fact that the hobby is slowly but surely becoming a cesspool, man, like mainstream stuff. Like when people are coming into the hobby.
It's been this way. It's been this way.
But when people are coming in brand new, like let's say someone in the New Year's, like
it's easier for the other people to scale. All the brand new people it's easier for those. They've been doing this. Ken Golden's been doing it since the 90s. It's real. Ken Golden's got it down pat. Now, sorry to throw Ken Golden out there, but it's like he knows. They know. They know when they see fresh meat, they're pouncing on it. Jeff Wilson is definitely hoping for that fresh meat.
But imagine someone who's coming in the new year, like my New Year's resolution is to go and I want to start collecting cards again. And then they go on these YouTube influencers with Jeff Wilson doing a fucking game show or, seeing filth bomb breaks and you're seeing these guys flex their muscles and do stupid shit. Or you're seeing backdoor breaks, I call them, instead of backyard breaks because they, they get they're hitting all the cards and they're acting like that card's the biggest card they've ever hit until the next.
We do a little trolling. It's called we do a little trolling.
Yeah, we're just doing a little trolling. It's no big deal.
Charles, you have a great week. Thank you for calling in. And yeah, man, keep on.
Let's get to the voicemails.
Yeah, let's get to the voicemails. All right, let's do that. All right, Charles, you have a great day. There was also a tiny bit of echo today. I don't know why. There was a couple good voicemails. I want to let's definitely do the voicemails. So how many do we have here? 1, 2, there's 5. Also a couple are really short. That's good. There's I won't be live next week. No, I will be live next week. And then the Christmas week will take off. And then it's New Year's week and I'll be live again. Wednesday is New Year's Eve. Will probably be a small show or smaller video. I'm still going to go live until 7 my time. So we'll take a 1-week break and that'll be when we decide who is the caller of the year. I have 3 saved so far, all from different people that I think were the 3 best. And then so I don't forget, and I know we need to get to voicemails, but I will forget. So I want to end this. End Q&A, confirm, and how do I see the answers? Are they going to show us the answer? Who answered what? I don't know. It's something I tried new, question and answer. I don't even know how the fuck to look who answered what. I ended it. I want to see Maddox. I don't even know. Maybe you'll see. I can't see. Let's get to a voicemail. Here we go. Now, let's start this one off a little bit. Again, he's a little bit hard to understand. So I might have to pause it here. And he's talking about Mojo sports cards. I'm going to bring that. He set up shop next to Mojo I met him at the National. I went to that dinner that Petty happened to be at. I didn't know he was there. I got sat in the front and the guy sitting next to me happened to know my channel. And so we got to talking. Then I saw him at the front row card show. I bought some Menko cards, which just means Japanese cards. I always thought it was a brand. And so that's who's calling in. He's talking about Mojo. Here we go.
Hey, Jason. I'm the guy selling you the Menko Mickey Mouse card, so you know who I am. don't want the stuff I say. I don't want to expose my name. So anyway, so I saw you guys are talking about Mojo. I have experience with him. Maybe that's probably about 2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago, talking about Mojo Sports Cards. That's at least who I think he's talking. That's the only thing I get out of it. And we've been recently talking about him. I know he's a viewer. Excuse me. Thank you for leaving a voicemail. Little long, but worth it. Worth some inside information on our boy Mojo, your favorite.
So I'm sitting next to him at the Bourbon Car Show. No, that's where it was the name before they changed to the West Coast. So so it's a 4-day show, and Thursday night I did not set out, so I just put my cases in there and I just left at home. I'm just like 8-hour trip from Arizona. So I'm down there, and I don't have the energy to do it, so I did that. So I'm next to him. So without asking, he just started using that. I was not there. Well, it's fair game. I guess maybe too petty to say that. You shouldn't just go ahead and use, even though the table is empty. You shouldn't just go ahead and use it.
So I don't set up at shows, but I don't know what the general, the polite etiquette is. But, again, he said he wasn't really setting up his table. Mojo just kind of took it over.
And that's fine. But he left like a huge mess with all the the trash with the little the stuff, the little trash around it. And also the first thing is that he left like a half finished Coke bottle just left on my table and without cleaning it. And next morning, the first thing when I got there, the first thing I do is to clean all the mess. And
so he had to clean up after our Mojo here. That doesn't sound on his own table.
I talked to them about it. They say, "Oh no, I'm sorry, but it just don't feel genuine, I guess." So
doesn't feel very genuine. Was he really sorry?
Anyway, that's the first thing, and the second thing is, on the second day, people need to eat, but that's fine, but at least Twitter is fresh out, right? And this time he didn't let it at my table, but on the Saturday morning when I got there, they have like unfinished. I can smell the little bit of rot food. No, smell. They're unfinished Panda Express.
Dang, doesn't clean after. I think he's telling me it smells like rot. Is that what I just heard? Did I mishear?
That's on their table, and it smelled not so good. So anyway, and I have to keep hearing the whole weekend. He talk about how great manner the guy he is, and his parents teaching him well. Like, the thing you do doesn't really match up the description. So yeah. Anyway, I guess it's a hobby how I'm renting, so I'm going to spell something, I guess. Anyway, looking forward to see you in the January Vegas show, though.
Hell yes. Me too. And thank you for the call. If you don't know the great curator, you missed out. And it just shows how fake everything is. Him and 3 others, and I don't remember the 3 others, and a couple of them were kind of decent, big-sized names, mid-sized names. And they basically did a deal on camera that felt so fake. And then you realize it is fake. They're just doing it for the camera. And then this motherfucker comes out a day or 2 later on his, it was all for the show. We just wanted to get a little, make it seem extreme. Like, this shit happens all the time. They're just doing a deal for the camera, and then that's it. And then we trade back our cards. And that's what happened with our great curator. Good call, little long, good call. Let's play a 7. It's just funny. A little bit funny here. I have 2 back-to-back calls. One's 17 seconds from Australia, and one's 30 seconds. The 17 seconds gives us all love. It's all love. The chat, myself. The next caller, 30 seconds. I'm going to play it anyways. Why not? All hate. Can't stand it. Maybe it's Jeff Wilson's mom. First, let's listen to the good one.
Hey guys, this isn't really a rant. This is just Carl from Australia ringing to say how much I enjoy these videos, and hello to all of the friends that I met at Strongsville and the National. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Hell yes, Kyle from Australia. People are watching out in Australia. Kyle, give a little ring. What the hell? Dan, the card man, told me, he used the funniest expression I never heard. We'll have a little a chin scratch. It means a conversation, a trait strike. It was funny as hell. All right, now this next 30 seconds, complete opposite. This guy just saying, loves the show, enjoys the chat, good vibes. And here we have maybe Jeff Wilson's mom. I don't know. Let's hear it. It's not good.
Hey, I want you all to know
But you and everyone you have on your channel, you're all disgusting. I can't bear to watch any of your content because I get disgusted by your faces and your voices. And I just hate it. That's all
Stop
I
it.
have to say.
Get some help.
It's disgusting.
Shut your damn mouth.
You will respect my authority.
That fuck 'em up. I'ma do my stuff.
All right, we have two more, a minute 16, a minute 57. We'll get all the voicemails out of the way. We'll move on. What time is it? It's I don't know. What time is it? 6:39. All right, we're doing good. Two more. Maybe we'll take a few calls at the end. Anyone want to call in? Hit the link at the top. We'll have a little discussion. Always fun. The viewers like hearing from people, hearing different takes, hearing different opinions. Here we go. I have no idea. Anything cussing out Geo? No.
What the hell, Prof? You trying to give me a heart attack with that damn thumbnail? I hate clowns, man. Fucking creepy bastards they are.
That's Kenny F.
Anyways, get at the subject at hand now. Here we are, another week, another day, another month. More controversies, more PSA, pulling bullshit behind the scenes, changing the grades, and then being able to make more money on their platform. I don't know. I mean, it's fun to talk about it and all, but really, if we all think about it, if we're actually true to ourselves, is anything ever actually going to be fixed or changed?
No.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Because these
I know.
corporations and these guys at the top, they're bulletproof. They run things how they want. They're connected.
And I'll make it, just look at bigger society. Is any, the education system's fucked up. Is anything going to change? No. People can't afford houses. Is anything going to really change? Maybe a crash. I mean, you're talking about it forever. No. I mean, these things just don't change. Is I had to go for my foot today. I mean, the medical in this country can be rough. And is anything going to change? No.
In politics and
yeah,
corporations,
nailed it.
The elite, the top 1%, or the even top 10%.
That was Mojo.
They don't give a fuck about anybody else, and they're going to do what they want.
That's right.
They're shameless.
That's
and it's
right.
just going to be one scandal, on to the next one, on to the next one. Another one and another one. Sad state of affairs, but that's the truth. Anyway, y'all take care. Suck it, Geo.
Good call. All right, last voicemail. I feel like I have a couple of things if you want to call in chat to end the show. That will be fun. Last one. This is on maybe on Jeff's live stream. I'm not sure. It's a little long. Let's give it a chance.
Hey, Jeff's live last night with his holiday giveaway bullshit, sponsored by Whatnot, of course.
Whatnot? Come on, man.
When he was selling Topps Chrome packs and pulling a Dwayne Wade rookie, he was losing his mind with his paid cronies. PSA 9s worth about $25 to $30 on a $400-something pack.
Oh, yeah, you got to go buy those. Hey, before I forget, I'm looking at chat and I'm just thinking, we are all lucky. Me, chat, and by the way, yesterday, peak 180. Today, peak 180. Fuck yes, man. Slow growth. I remember Halloween was the World Series. We got 80 people. I'm thinking, man, we'll get back when we get back to 100. And here we are in December, a month and a half later, back-to-back nights of 180. Hell yes. Also, we are all very lucky. All 180 people in here at one time. All of us, including me, that fucking Bob Boozle, Mike Petty, and Orlando are gracious enough to be here often. And they make that chat worth being here every fucking time. There's Annoy, there's Frank, there's some other great commenters. I haven't seen Bargain Boxer in a minute. Hopefully he's doing well. I know he was going through a rough month prior. But Ruggs, there's some great comments, but those three, we're very lucky that they're here because you guys crush it in chat. I'm hosting and running and getting trying to schedule people to call in, but some of the real heroes here are in that chat right there. Let's finish. I don't know if we'll listen to another, it's just 2 minutes long. Kenny Effin does do good. We just gave him a whole run. We'll play some more of it. I'm not sure if we'll listen to the whole thing. Let's hear what he has to say.
he's making it look like someone struck it rich. Just asinine content. He keeps on acting like a total phony. Also today on Sports Card Nonsense, not Jesse and Gio. I love you guys, homies. But Tarver and what's his fucking name?
I don't know, but I can't stand Tyler Tarver, and I can't stand.
Oh, Gordy Bonkers, Mr. Golf guy, Mr.
I don't know
Finance
him.
guy. Just another total circle jerk. All about PSA, all about Fanatics, all about Ruben having this vision, all of his ties with his sports buddies.
Money,
Guess what?
money,
99% of people that purchase cards or collect anything don't give a fuck that some baseball player, football player, basketball player, whoever that's paid to be there and looks miserable 99% of the time opens up a product. It doesn't mean shit to me if I want something. Same in non-sports. I don't care. Carrie Fisher, rest in peace. If she opened up a fucking box of Star Wars, that doesn't make me want to go buy a box of Star Wars. I would have wanted to buy it in the first place. It would have been something I wanted to collect. So it's just more circle jerking, more pushing the top 1% bullshit narrative. Oh, they also push Arena Club. Okay, I went a little long. Anyway, happy holidays to everyone if I don't get back on next week. Take care. Have a good one, Prof.
Hey,
have a safe trip. Enjoy your time with your family. Take care. Bye.
Kenny Effin, thank you for giving the call. That was a great. You always do a good job with the call. Platinum Breaks is here. What the fuck? Okay. I thought I knew that name. Anyways, all right. By the way, another. Yeah, absolutely. Rhonda crushes as a moderator. She crushes, keeps things, keep it going, making sure the chat's involved. And then just something I've noticed, Rick Galvis is here. Okay, he's not new, but something I've also noticed in the chat is there's so many new. Here's one, Jim's Holy. I don't know, Alex Mendoza. Here's another one, Armando Fierro. I mean, we've been doing these, like KK's been here a long time, but we've been doing these last 3 months. We become friends. I get to know most of these people in the chat here and their names, and so it's really exciting. The past 2 nights, the past four lives. A lot of new people. Who said it? Is it? Yeah, Fresh Prince. The classroom is growing. I mean, there's just a lot of new faces. You're welcome. Not you're welcome. You're welcome here every Tuesday and Wednesday. Chat's a lot of fun. People say, for me, I would never watch a 2-hour live. It's not for me. It's not my thing. But this is so fun. We're all having a good time. I feel like the guests have been really strong the last few weeks. I feel like ditching the Friday show. I could focus on these two. Those have all been good things. So. Anyways, those are the voicemails. It's hilarious that Phillip Rivers is going to play quarterback this week. He's 44 years old. He hasn't thrown a football in forever. What else? Kenny Pickett's going to start for the Raiders. The NFL is launching Pro Flag Football League, aiming for the 2028 Olympics. I also think, I know in Vegas at least, the flag football is bigger for the female side. So if you could launch flag football, I think it could attract more females into the sport. Hated this list. Mike Trout, number 15. A big thank you to CIA Auctions. That Godfather collection is ending this weekend. If you want to check it out, we got to get them some more, some bigger cards, some consigners. We got to get them, some big sharp. And not that their inventory is bad. We want to keep making it grow and grow and grow. What else? I had someone reach out yesterday. He said he's my hockey huckleberry. I liked that line. But he said he was busy tonight, but we'll try to have him once a week, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Nothing long, but we need I know there's some hockey love. I'm not a hockey guy. You'll have to bear with it if you're not, but it's always interesting. It'll be quick. And I know there's some viewership out there that wants hockey. AIH crush. It was great talking to Scottie. This is ridiculous. This is why I know I'm right. This is not the first time. 2 years ago, this happened. It's a big story. 3 years ago, this happened. It's a big story. My Wemby video, I went on and talked to Jags, the guy that pulled them. Like, he couldn't believe it. It's insane to him. It's not real. This is the easiest way to show there's tomfoolery going on. It's just ridiculous. Jeremy Lee agrees. And then I'll finish here. And if anyone wants to call in to extend the show just a little bit, I'm down. If not, it's just a circus. It's just a circus. And everyone respects Nat Turner. Everyone's got nice things to say about Nat Turner. But in the past few years, especially the past 6 months to a year, PSA has become something different. We all know it. We all feel it. We all smell it. Gentlemen, ladies, Rhonda, thank you for being here, helping out. Frank, thank you for helping out. Thank you to Scotty B calling in, AIH calling in. We'll do 2 shows next week. We'll take Christmas off. I'll be back for New Year's. Thank you to CIA Auctions. Thank you to Card Ladder. And yeah, I'll see you guys all next week on Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. I'm still resting this foot. I need to walk again. That's a little frustrating. Orlando, hope you're feeling well. I enjoyed that video. Penny Sleeve, Bob Boozle, Fresh Prince. A lot of new names. Artisan. The real Mike Petty. Will you stand up? Fedora 1. Guys, have a great night. Hit that like button. 134 people. Let's hit that like button. Later, guys.